pen. Subjugate the dub play. And you know we can't wait to bring spins. A-star quizzes, A+ the final. Vocals we align, we'll move it all simultaneously over joints we rock. We earn 30 years so you can say we got 3 turns. Live off the board, unlike you and your chess men. We install doubt in you and your yes men. And if the game had veins, we'll insert upheaval the crown. Cause the adrenaline we blend with the sound is our thing. Relieving the kings of all crowns. Are you ready? Are you set? Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady, to the letter, right? Turn it up, y'all keep the flow. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about? Space out your mind. But can you rock it like rocket?
With Chesapeake Bay gleaming in the distance, we are inside M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, Maryland. The two teams emerging from their respective tunnels a minute ago to the approval of this Baltimore crowd. They're all set as their Ravens will match up with Andy Dalton and the Cincinnati Bengals. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Jackson, and right away, he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Now a deep ball going to be caught here near midfield. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Give him 32 on the play.
First down at the 49-yard line. Here we go, D. All day, defense, all day.
They go to the former Saint, Mark Ingram. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Jackson, and a quick shuffle pass here is complete. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack?
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 26. Well, Snead figures to be an important veteran presence for Lamar Jackson. 2 years ago, it was a disappointing 2017 for Snead. That was in New Orleans. But then had a bit of a bounce-back campaign a season ago in his first go-around with Baltimore. 62 catches, 650 yards. Did have surgery in the offseason on his left index finger, but back to full health and ready to go. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Running right, this is Ingram. And he'll be dropped at the 23 after a pickup of about 4. Here comes the 7th play of this opening drive. They've moved it well, but here's 3rd down. Now it's Jackson. Flush to his right. He can run for it, and he will. Jackson, always a threat to run. He's got the first down. He was the NFL's leading rusher among QBs a year ago.
Someone knew exactly where he needed to get to pick up that first down. Now, I'm not so sure about the technique in getting there, but he went for it, and he got it.
Exactly. He knew where he needed to get, because remember, if he slides, when that derriere dips, if you will, that play's over.
The derriere dips, I like that one.
Yeah, been working on it for a little bit. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Let's go.
It's a give to the right, Ingram. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down.
No gain on the play. Brings up 3rd down and 7.
It's been a pretty long opening drive. This will be play number 11 coming up on 3rd down. Jackson now. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. Carl Lawson, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. So on 4th down, here's the Ravens Pro Bowl kicker Justin Tucker out onto the field. This will be, 38 yards out. Tucker's kick is good. Tucker named the league's all-pro kicker for the 3rd time in 2018.
Go ahead and admit it. The only time that you get excited about Justin Tucker kicking is when he actually misses.
It's
and
rare.
excited is not the right word. Surprise is more what we're talking about. 90.1% coming into 2019. He's incredible.
Justin Tucker set to kick off.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. This is Joe Mixon, 4th in the NFL in rushing last season. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Dalton here from the gun. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
3rd down, a shot here for Dalton. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 40. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for that.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Carlos Dunlap in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. Forced out to his left. The ball comes out, and the Bengals grab it. Some guys just have a knack for creating turnovers. He's got a little bit of that going. He forced a fumble last week, another one there.
And it just drives teams crazy because they realize that certain guys, as you said, have that knack, and they're trying to keep them away from the action, away from the ball. But the best ones have that overwhelming desire, that overwhelming need to get to the football and make it happen, and that he does.
Now Jackson. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown, his 3rd touchdown now on the year as the Ravens push further out in front. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead grows to 10-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. Throwing here to start the drive as they connect left side. And they're going to have this in a great spot way down in Baltimore territory. A big play there for Cincinnati. 59 yards. Line of scrimmage moves from their own 25 all the way to the red zone now for 1st and 10. To throw here, Dalton. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Patrick Onwuasor. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. The 20. And he will bring this back. It's a pick six and a Raven touchdown. Short throw pick six right there, those linebackers. They love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
The first down throw coming for Dalton. Boyd's the target, and he has it over the middle. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now Joe Mixon. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 15 yards on the play, 1st down.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
1st and 10 for Dalton. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
It's our time.
Throwing again. Dalton. Caught by Gates, left side. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 12 yards there and a 1st down.
First down, Bengals.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. With the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Double time, 40.
Dalton. Right side catch. This is Gates. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. That one a first down pickup of 8.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
Off the play fake to Mixon. This is Dalton. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Cornell McPhee in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Hands up. Leave. Block 49. Stay with your man.
Dalton bootlegs out. Got a man. It's Ross, complete. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll go to Pirine, trying to pound it in. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up second and goal.
They're right there at the 1. No gain, but don't let that stop you. Line back up and keep going at them. If I'm them, I'm thinking about going at it 4 straight times.
Dalton's going to sneak it, and he is in. Touchdown, Bengals. Andy Dalton, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Bullock good on the extra point, and that'll cut the lead to 17-7. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards, as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense getting the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Let's go. Let's do it.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Carl Lawson make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
54.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right.
And he's taken down. Back at his own 7, Carlos Dunlap. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Here's Sam Cook now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. taking on the midfield logo. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. It'll go as a 42, make it a 43-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Bengals will take over in terrific field position. On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Another look for Dalton on 2nd and 10. And this time he's got the hookup. It's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Play action here with Dalton. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Tony Jefferson. And he will bring it out past the 20-yard line. Keelan Cole, the intended target.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
35 seconds, all that remains in the first half as they come up on 1st down. To throws Jackson. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. The inside linebacker, Danny Trevathan, gets the sack. They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the 2nd down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the 2nd quarter. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. On 3rd down, Mark Ingram. And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the 2nd half. The Bengals drive about to get going. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the 2nd half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the 2nd half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Dalton. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Pernell McPhee. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Here's Kevin Huber now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away.
Yeah,
defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points.
And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. Carlos Dunlap make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. There's Jackson on 3rd and long. Eluding the pressure right. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the 1st down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. Man open is Keelan Cole, complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Dalton with a give here to Mixon. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
What you got? What you got, Heavy? What you got, Heavy? Give me some. Give me some. Here we go.
Play action now. Dalton letting one go deep for the end. And this is going to be intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Earl Thomas was so good at Texas, playing center field, playing free safety, that they thought if he came back for one more year, they're going to have to move him to corner. Those are the types of skills he has. That's what we just saw there. 2 deep coverage, came off of the, near the hash mark, and made an excellent play on the football. Boy, can he roam.
Yep, and not really tall at 5'10", but he can roam, and he's disruptive. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Jackson has got his man. It's Andrews. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down. The defense loves to hang their hat on that, don't they? You get a guy that catches the ball, but you stop him for no gain.
Without a doubt, because they're also used to trying to catch people after the catch, and they miss. And that turns into what? A huge play. We've seen it so many times. In this case, though, catch was made, put down right on the spot.
And he'll be stopped short of the 1st down as they rally to tackle him at about the 28. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one.
The Bengals take over 1st and 10 at their own 15-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Dalton, 1st and 10. Now he's hit, and Dalton lost the football. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
Dalton able to hit Ross. That's complete. A 1st down there on a pickup of 25.
It's a gain of 25 yards. And a Bengal 1st down.
Andy Dalton now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Throwing, Dalton. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. The throw once more on 2nd and 10. Dalton complete to the right side. It's Eifert. So, of course, they declined that there. They knew they had the free play. They got great yardage out of it.
It's kind of like when we were at dinner last night. You saw me reach for the check, so you ordered dessert on top of it, right? You said you had the free play.
Yeah.
Right? Already had what you needed. Go ahead and get a little more on top. I like it.
After the penalty, it's Mixon. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, yo. Let's make these babies.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Dalton. And he's going to go down here. A sack. They push him back to the 34. Pernell McPhee. Make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals.
I can't believe they even let you play.
Operating from the gun, Dalton. And that is incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. But hang on, a flag is down. Now, if it's on the defense, they might decline it and take the points. Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise, this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
So a special teams mistake on the field goal try leads to a new set of downs inside the red zone.
49, guys. Mike, 49. Take me up. Here we go.
5.
49.
From the gun, Dalton. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Matt Judon able to record his 5th sack of the season. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. From the gun to give to Mixon. He's to the 10. And he gets it all the way down to the 3. A gain there of 21 yards. So a decent deficit at this stage in the second half. 4-down territory?
No doubt about it. There's not a chance that he hasn't looked ahead and said, okay, if we gain yardage on this play, this is what we'll do going forward. If we lose yardage, this is the play call that I'll have ready.
Able to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop him right around the 1.
To me, that's a terrific run on 1st and goal at the 3. They got 2 yards. I'd line right back up and give it to him again.
Mixon trying to punch it in, and he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon, his 4th touchdown on the year, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. Extra point up and good by Bullock. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They've been asleep for a little while on this side of the football, Charles, and the score is just a 1-score game now. Haven't had any points this half. What gives?
Let's go old school here. All right, let's get back to the basics. Get back to running the football, high percentage throws. Find the guys that eat pressure and make plays for you and make sure they touch it.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Now a give, right side. Ingram.
That's it, baby.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. And he's got some space here. That one goes for 29 yards on 3rd down. Well, probably the only thing he did wrong there was go out of bounds, nursing this 4th quarter lead. You want to stay in, eat the clock.
Yeah, you got to love the effort, the catch, the extra yardage, but you got to know the situation. Stay in bounds, young man.
This is Ingram on 1st and 10. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Baltimore was the most run-heavy team in the league last year after Lamar Jackson took over as a starter. And you think about Mark Ingram. He goes from a situation where he was sharing time with Kamara in New Orleans. Now he figures to be the top guy in the Baltimore backfield. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. William Jackson with a pick. The 30. Past the 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Cincinnati. This game, it's been defensively oriented on both sides, so I guess it stands to reason that the play of the game comes on defense.
So it's my kind of game. You know that. Anytime we have a defensive battle, but that, as you said, it stands to reason that's the way the game tilted. Someone had to make a big play, and the way the defenses were dominating, that's exactly what we got.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And a nifty return there as he's all the way up past the 40-yard line.
And when you're facing a deficit on the scoreboard, you're just looking for something to get you right back into the game, and that's the spark that they were looking for. They got it with that big return.
Baltimore with good starting field position as they come up 1st and 10. Now a throw over the middle, and he's got it to start the drive. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down. Jackson now, 5 straight completions here in this 2nd half. 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Jackson. Flushed out right. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down. Well, let's see. He was 8 of 13 prior to that pass. Now 8 of 14, Charles.
Yeah, that's not horrible, but he's been under a ton of pressure throughout this game. Not able to stay on his spot. You know, quarterbacks talk about that all the time, being able to get to one place, set up and throw. When they make you move a little bit, oftentimes your accuracy suffers.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Now it's Jackson. And that will be incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. 1 score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Here's Jackson to throw. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game.
Let's go! Let's go!
So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
At their 49-yard line.
Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7.
Watch left, watch left, watch left.
He don't know no better.
Again, it's Mixon. He's got a 1st down and then some inside the 40. And finally taken down at the 35-yard line. 16 yards, a 1st down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Mixon. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds left to go.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a 1st down. Wow, a personal foul at this stage in the 4th. Hard to believe.
Really hard to believe, and now that glow of hope that you had begins to flicker out, doesn't it?
Yep. They'll run with Mixon. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the 4th. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Hey, watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
This is Mixon. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Boy, tight game like this, 4th quarter, personal foul penalties, a no-no.
Yeah, we know the emotions are running high, the tensions are the same. Who can control them best could ultimately win it.
Now they run with Mixon. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Now the Bengals going to use the 1st of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. They come out here in the I. 2nd and goal from the 1. They'll try to run this one in. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down. And here come the whistles and a timeout with 7 seconds left. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play. 3rd and goal. And Dalton will just sneak it. And he is in. Touchdown, Bengals. Andy Dalton with his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Bengals, they widen their lead. Bullock good on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. And they're going to have really good starting field position here as that's taken up close to the 40. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by Sean Williams. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Charles, in this one, I think the storyline really, the fourth quarter, coming into it neck and neck, but they were able to separate, put their foot on the gas, and get the win.
And since you mentioned neck and neck, I'm going to stay with a little bit of a horse racing theme. It was that close, and then really went into the gallop and finished it strong.
One more horse racing theme.
Go.
I am glad you posted today.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So for Cincinnati, it's a much-needed victory as it gets them back to 2-4 on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, the loss here will move them back to 500 at 3-3. And they'll be on the road next week as they get a date with the Seahawks in Seattle. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.